Critter Cove is a cozy tropical life simulator set in an open world where you rebuild an island town alongside a cast of charming townsfolk. It just released today, September 10 on Steam as early access, and here are 20 tips to help you get started. The character customization in this game is just amazing. If you've played the demo, you are already aware of the various combinations that you can make to create your character. However, they added even more options for early access. Take your time in making your character, but don't worry about it too much. You will eventually be able to get a mirror via crafting or as a gift from a villager. You can place the mirror inside your house, and then you'll be able to change your character as much as you like. Another option is to wait until you can open up the clothing store. There is a mirror inside the store that you can use for this if you still don't have the item. I personally sometimes suffer from motion sickness in video games, and if you're like me, you can toggle this option, which will put a crosshair in the middle of your screen. It actually helped me a lot at first until I got used to the graphics and motions. Another setting that I changed is the critter speak. I disabled it since the sound was just not for me. One of your first tasks in the island is to choose a house location. Be sure to take note of the location of your chosen spot since it will not be marked on your map until you've actually built it. Also, you can choose to place your house in a lot of locations, but I would personally recommend choosing one near your workshop since you will be going there a lot. Upon choosing the location, a donation box will appear in front of it, or you can place the needed items to build it. After you build the house, it will be marked in the map and will be easier to find. When donating items for a blueprint, you can simply right-click on the needed item to transfer it to the box. You can also drag and drop it if you want to. Plus, you can press Shift plus click to split a stack. For the first few quests, you will not have any tools to clear debris yet, so you will start by picking up rocks and sticks by the beach. You will also need some metal, which you can get by picking up tin cans. While collecting those materials, go ahead and hoard shells since this is an important crafting item. Make sure to also get some berries and drumstick stalks since those are good food supply. There are a few near Pokey's tent right here. Once you have your basic tools, continue to gather more materials since this game has a lot of crafting, so you will always need more materials, especially metal and wood. There are also some furniture items that will be available for you to craft once you scavenged enough of that item. One of the recipes that you can get by scavenging is the basic trunk. I highly recommend getting this one as fast as you can. You need to also own a furniture table for this. Once you're able to craft it, you can place one trunk by the dock. Your storage chests are all connected in this game, and it's nice to be able to store and get items right before you go exploring the ocean. You can also place more storage trunks behind your workshop if you start accumulating a lot to hide it from view. Most quests in this game will require you to explore the world and find items needed for blueprints and other upgrades. In some quests that require you to search for items, you can use your map to see the location of that item. It will be marked with a circle and a number that corresponds to the quest that it's tracking. If you pin the quest using your journal, your compass will also point towards the location you need to go to. Be careful about following your compass though. Once you have found the item, the compass will still point to the location of that item, and not to the person you have to turn in the quest to. Since there are a lot of items and decorations in the game, it is important that you know the appearance of the item that you're looking for because you might miss it. For example, one of the first quests where you need to look for specific items is the one for your starter boat. To make your boat, you need to find a grass cutter engine, a tub, and an old coat hanger. The map will show the locations of these items, but I thought that this old coat hanger was just a lantern decoration, so I ended up circling the area multiple times before finding it. There would also be some quests where you need to craft something that uses special items, but the map will not show you where to get those items. For these ones, you first have to hover over the item to see if it can be crafted using any processing machine. If not, you have to look for that item around shipwrecks and sunken cities or locations. The upper left corner of the map shows all the items that you can get around a specific island. You will eventually get a blueprint for an item called a resource finder. It only needs metal and a quartz to craft, which are abundant on your island. This item will show the locations of the nearby items for the next 2 hours. After 5 uses, the item will be destroyed, so you'll have to craft it again. There will be a lot of items shown, but you can zoom in on the map to help you see the location of a needed item. This can be a bit challenging though, especially as you go to areas where you can dive deeper into the ocean. Speaking of diving, you will only be able to stay underwater for a few seconds at the start of the game. You will need to talk to Anchor when he's looking at this contraption by the docks to start the quest that will eventually convert rusty tanks to air tanks. You have to equip the scuba diving mask that Anchor will give you, plus have air tanks in your inventory if you want to stay underwater longer. The air tanks will automatically get refilled if you ran out of air, as long as you have extra in your inventory. If you do run out of air while underwater, your stamina and your health will rapidly decrease. Once it reaches a certain point, the game will teleport you to the surface and you will be penalized. Your maximum health, stamina, and air capacity will all be decreased. I'm not sure how long this lasts for, but the cap will eventually increase again automatically after some time has passed. Another thing to keep an eye out for is the water temperature. As you dive deeper, the temperature will decrease and your character will lose health due to cold. To withstand this temperature, you will need to have the clothing store opened in your town. The shop worker will eventually give you a quest to find the blueprints for a wetsuit that can withstand the cold temperature, and they will give you the wetsuit as a reward for completing that quest. Next, let's talk about the Townies. Once you start exploring the other islands, you'll find critters who got shipwrecked. You need to do a simple quest for them, then they will go to the town with you. The critters found in the islands are randomized. You can ignore the castaway if you don't like them, then wait for a storm so that a new townie will be at the island instead. Once you invite a new townie to your town, they will stay at a tent first. Increase your friendship with them by talking to them every day so that they will eventually move into a permanent house. Don't worry, there are ways to evict them from the island later on if you change your mind. Talking to the townies and doing quests for them will increase your relationship further until they will give you a quest to craft a friendship bracelet. This is where the shells you hopefully hoarded will be useful. After giving them the bracelet, you'll be able to track their location on the island at all times. Pay attention to their likes and dislikes, which are available at your journal to level up your friendships faster. They will also reward you with furniture, clothing item, or even a master key that can open any locked doors, which usually leads to some rare items. Your main source of passive income would be from tourism. Tourists will go to your island every 3 days after you have opened Checkmark's tourism booth. Make sure to open at least one shop or place some interactive objects around your town like seats, benches, and barbells to get money from the tourists. If you don't have any money yet to buy the cafe blueprint from Checkmark, you can do townie quests posted on the bulletin board or sell items to Renard. I found that the best items to sell would be cooked food since most other items are used as crafting materials. Make sure to pay attention to the cost of individual items versus the cooked item. There are some recipes where the price of the cooked item is just the sum of all the ingredients, so it's not worth it to sell those. So far, I found 2 recipes that earn me money. First food is Mega Meat Jumble. Pokey will eventually give you a questline to unlock planting seeds. At the beginning of the game, it's easy to get lots of wood and drumstick stalk seeds. I recommend planting drumstick stalks on small planter boxes. Once it's fully grown, you can harvest drumsticks every day. You can also harvest this around the town and on nearby islands. You can then turn this into mega meat jumble by cooking 3 pieces of drumsticks on a cooking station. Each one sells for 14 coins, while 1 drumstick only sells for 3 coins. Another cooked item to sell is grilled fish. It only sells for 8 coins each, but it's relatively easy to catch a lot of fish after you craft a fishing rod. To get a fishing rod blueprint, you need to talk to this character located on the small island to the south of town. Before launch, the fishing minigame used to be similar to the one in Stardew Valley, but they have removed the minigame for now. So currently, it's simply waiting for a fish to bite. Then you click the mouse button to reel it in, kinda like in Animal Crossing. I do hope it will be an optional thing in the future for those who would want a bit more challenge. Once you have enough money to open up shops, you need to assign a worker from your townies. Each character has a different preference for their work. Assigning a suitable worker will earn you more money. For example, Sammy likes cooking and would be the perfect one to assign to your cafe. If you assign Pokey there, she will sell some very sus food. I tried buying her special ones and it decreased my health, so I fired her and hired Sammy instead. You can view the workstation preference of your townies on your relationship tab. If you've learned something new already, then please leave a like on this video. Lastly, here are other quick random tips. The green bar under your stamina is for sprinting. You can sprint while holding the shift button. Do note that once the yellow stamina bar is depleted, you will not be able to sprint even if you have a full green bar. If you feel like you have no new quests to do, look for Anchor. He gives new quests from time to time, but you need to talk to him. If you are having trouble with a quest, consider doing other quest lines first, since the reward for that might make the other quest easier to do. You don't need to sleep at night. You can just replenish your energy by eating food, so feel free to explore to your heart's content. The mailbox is located beside Anchor's shop. Some items will be deposited there if you have a full inventory, so check it from time to time. There are notes scattered around the world. Keep a lookout for these to know more about the world lore. You can place items outside of your workshop, so you don't need to cramp everything inside the building. Pay attention to floating crates when exploring using your boat. These contain some ingredients that are helpful for cooking. Let me know in the comment section if you have other tips for new players. I'm Myrabels and I make content about cozy live sim games like this, so consider subscribing for more.